Hey y'all, so I am coming with you guys today to let you know about how my hair business have been going and things that I've learned. I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of like my hair company launch, and so I know it's kind of crazy that I'm saying that because I never really used YouTube to like my advantage like I should have, which is something I learned. But I said all that to say I never really necessarily made like an announcement like I'm the owner of Triple Diamond Hair when I actually started the company. So yeah, it's kind of weird that I'm saying I'm coming up on a year of it and probably nobody knew about it. But since I've done it, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video for you guys to let you know if you're thinking about starting a hair extension business, or probably I would say these practices can work for pretty much any business because it's basically all the same principles when you're trying to be an entrepreneur. So yeah, I'm going to look down at my notebook because I wrote some stuff down so I don't forget, you guys. And I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. Some things you really have to go really in depth with it, but other things you won't. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I just feel like if I can stop some people from doing some things wrong that I did and help you like focus on something that really matters, then I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. And so since I started my hair company, which was like around last year, October. I don't even know if it's bad, you guys, because like I don't even know pretty much the exact date actually, which is crazy. I don't know. But anyways, I know that it's been about a year. And so I'm coming up on the 1 year. And what I wanted to say was like the troubles, the numbers, everything, like I don't know. I can't even just begin to think how I should start this video because it's so many different things to say. So I'm just going to get straight into it about some things that I got down that you should know prior to starting your hair company. You should probably know this ahead of time. And I don't really have a specific number of things I'm going to talk about, so I might be back and forth. Y'all just bear with me, okay? Because I do have some really good information. The first thing you should know about getting ready to start your hair company is that it will be stressful, okay? It will be very stressful. This, of course, you know, is a oversaturated market. Not only will you be one of millions, maybe billions or whatever, but it's a billion-dollar industry. So there are a lot of people selling hair, okay? But that should not discourage you from actually starting your own hair company because, I mean, there's a lot of McDonald's, there's a lot of Burger Kings, Walmarts, Kmarts that still exist, like Targets. There's a lot of everything in pretty much every business that you look at in the world. So that shouldn't deter you from starting your hair company. When you are around people and they're telling you like, oh, everybody sells hair, you shouldn't do that because you know you're never going to get any sales and stuff. I mean, that doesn't stop anybody. Like you look on AliExpress, there's like hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of companies selling hair. You have some of them that have been in business for 10 years, 12 years, 2 years, 3 years, 1. Nothing is stopping them from, you know, still opening a hair company, selling hair, and nothing is stopping the everyday person. I mean, we're in a world where we have influencers right now to where pretty much an influencer that posts on Instagram, like they just wake up one day, you know what I'm saying, decide to start posting YouTube videos. They go on Instagram, post cute outfits, and then they get a large following. It's like overnight they end up getting, you know, 200, 300,000, 400,000 followers that they influence to do whatever they basically want them to do. And if you have a good influencer, that means, you know, a good influencer that has like a good engagement with people, whatever they do, whatever they put their stamp on, somebody is gonna go buy it, okay? Somebody's gonna buy it. So I mean, who's to say that, you know, your hair company won't blow up because everybody else is selling hair? Like, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to get confusing. But that alone should not intimidate you from starting a hair company because it is enough money for everybody to make. Also, finances is going to be another thing that's going to be very stressful for you. You will definitely... Finances will stress you out when you are starting your hair company because you will spend money before you make money. That is a fact. You will most definitely spend money. It's gonna cost money for you to, first you have to like find vendors. You're gonna test hair. That is going to take a while. That is a process that you should not rush. You might be lucky. I mean, you might test out a few vendors and that, you know, you like them and the hair was great. It was fantastic. You had no complaints or whatever and stuff like that. And so you don't have to spend that much money, but that all is going to go into how many products you're going to sell will determine how much hair you have to test. Because just because this company has some great straight or some great body wave hair doesn't mean that their curly hair is great. Their curly hair might suck, but the body wave is awesome. So depending on how many different textures and products that you're going to sell, you will have to test each one of them individually. When I say test them, I mean you need to take it, you need to wash it, you need to dye it, you need to press it, you need to do different things to it. By you doing that, whenever you get ready to sell that product to your customer will be able, like, you will be able to direct your customer with any issue they have. Because just because you have some minor things, like, y'all, hair out of a package might look great, okay? Like, I mean, I've purchased so much hair. I bought so much hair. I purchased so much hair, and just because it looks nice and beautiful out of the pack does not mean that hair will perform well once it is installed in your head, okay? Also, that also goes to say that just because you take hair out of the pack and it kind of look like it might be a little bad, it kind of looks a little dry or something, that doesn't automatically cancel it out as well, because it might just need a conditioner, you know, and it might perform way better after that conditioner. So this is all things that you're going to find out in the midst of testing hair. That's why I say when you test hair, you make sure you do everything to it. If you get some curly hair, everybody know that curly hair is high maintenance. It is high maintenance, y'all. Curly hair is high maintenance. So when you get curly hair, it's not always a wash and go situation. You know, you have to find what products work for it. It tends to be a little more frizzy. If you test the hair and everything before, you can also have the benefit of learning what products work and what products don't work. So once again, when you're in that relationship with your customer and they're having issues saying, well, the hair is really frizzy, by you already knowing that it's hard to deal with and you know some items that work, it might be a good idea to maybe insert like a little hair instruction, hair care card or something, you know, with your packaging, and let them know what products you recommended they should get. Not all products are high-end products. Just because it's expensive doesn't mean it works. So you have the benefit of trying out high-end products and low-end products when testing your hair, so you can figure out what works best, what doesn't work, and stuff like that. So that's going to cost money. It's going to cost money to try the hair. It's going to cost money from the vendors. Everything is going to cost money. So that alone is going to be a stressful situation, because if you are working a regular 9 to 5, you also have to think about your house, you know, your household bills, your actual income in itself. Like, how much do you really have after you take care of your household? How much do you have extra that you can actually fund into your business so you can actually make this work? You might have to get a part-time job because it funds your business. And I mean, these are some things that you're going to have to think about. It's going to be stressful, but once again, you don't let it deter you from doing what you want to do, and as far as your goal to be an entrepreneur. The next thing that's going to be an issue, it won't be that stressful, but I feel like it brings on a little stress, and it's going to be your name. Finding a name for your hair company, okay? Finding a name, having the colors in your logo. That is going to be something that's going to be really hard, because it seems like it might be simple, but like I said, we have a lot of hair companies. You have a lot of names that are similar. You have names that are it's a good name and you feel like it's the greatest, but there's certain things with choosing a name that you have to be conscious of. You don't want something that's going to be extremely long. If the name is entirely too long, you have to think about how you're going to put that into a domain, like, you know, when you get your website, because you don't want your domain to be Beyonce Knowles Carter Michelle hair collection. Like, that is just way too much. That's too much for somebody to type in. You also don't want, you want to avoid a very long name, because you don't want somebody to basically, you don't want to break it down, because you can use kind of initials for some things. Like, most people, instead of using collection, they use CO, which is fine. But what you don't want to end up doing is having your whole entire hair collection being just letters. Like, because then it can get confusing and then people won't find your website. And, you know, we as Americans, we're lazy. You know, we don't really want to go through too much work to find certain things. We might just end up forgetting about it. So it's always something to think about. You want to find a name that's kind of catchy. It doesn't really have to be catchy, but you want it to be kind of unique. You want someone to say, well, when they say that name, they're like, oh yeah, that's a girl, you know, with that hair, or something like that. Like, you always want to have a good name. And then your name can be simple, but then you also should have a tagline under your name. For us, okay, my name is Triple Diamond Hair, and our tagline is Undefined Beauty, and that's because, you know, we have the processed hair, we have the raw hair, I have the, you know, the straight textures, and we got kinky textures. So I mean, you know, for me, undefined beauty is just that. It's just a term that stuck with me because I don't like to be defined by it. Like some days I want hair, some days I want to be bald, other days I don't know, I feel lost without hair. So it's just my reason for having that. But that's what I have, you know, with my company. Another thing, as far as your logo is going to be important. Your logo you can change if you like, but with changing a logo comes with money, and you don't want to constantly spend money. When it comes to a logo, you want to make sure your logo is simple. You do not want an extra logo because it's gonna affect everything you do with your brand. If you have a humongous logo, then, like, as far as when I say humongous, I mean like a logo with additives in it. Like a lot of people have logos with like the hair face in it. It's like a hair in it. It's like a blow dryer. It's a big old face. It's like a I don't know, what do you call those little characters? It's like, you know, what do you call? Yeah, I don't know what you call those things, but it's like caricature, I don't know, something like that. But like those little cartoon character type things, you don't want to, oh man, my lashes. You don't want to have a really big image as far as your logo go, because you have to think about it. When you scale your image down, that image still have to look good. You want it to be clear and concise. You don't want your image to be kind of confused, because if you had this big old face on it and then you scale it down to make like bundle tags and wraps and stuff, it's going to look really weird. It's always best, honestly, in my opinion, from pretty much every book I read and every podcast I listen to, it always said, you know, they always say that you should probably have just text only logo, because you want your logo to be clear. You want it to be plain. You want it to look good when it's scaled down, and also when it's large. You want to keep away from fancy text. Okay, that's another thing as well. Initially, when I first started, I had like a logo that was like in cursive writing, and to me it was actually plain cursive as far as I was concerned. But then, you know, through my business coach and everything, it was like, well, yeah, it's a little fancy, so maybe you should just, you know, make it a little plain. And I also had like some clip art type like pictures, clip art, you know, clip art like you get out of Microsoft Word. I didn't really like it. I never liked that from the beginning. My girlfriend didn't like it either. It was a mess. So, but I dealt with it until I actually found something that made sense for me and is simple. And now basically all we have is a TDH, and that's just it. It's just simple. It's plain writing. It can be understood. Another thing that is going to be important, and like I said, this is all going to be like little things that's going to stress you and it's going to annoy you, because it's going to take time. When you choose your color, whatever your color wheel is, you want your color to speak to you. You want it to be like, if you like, it's a lot of people that use rose gold, which is fine. You just want to make sure that you use it, use your colors wisely. Like, you don't want to use a million colors. It's okay to have like, I mean, I guess it's okay for like a rainbow skit, but it's kind of hard if you have like 6-7 colors to your business, because then it's hard to define you. Like, we automatically know when we see like a yellow M and red, like it makes you think of McDonald's, because that's McDonald's colors. So that's what I automatically assume. So you want people to look at your colors and, you know, be like, okay, I know what that is. So when you use your colors and when you choose them, you want to make sure whatever color codes you have, that is a file that you save. Whoever does your logo, typically they'll give you vector files. Your vector files will be your basically, you know, any file that you can. Yes, I had to stop filming for a sec to go and do something for Babe. But so I left off where I was saying, whenever you get your logo, you're going to get your vector files, and it's going to give you, you're going to have all your color codes that's used for that logo. Your color codes is going to be basically the code that correlates with your color. You want to make sure you keep those handy, because anytime you know, outsource some work, anytime you source out to get some things as far as like your maybe, yeah, your bundle wraps or like flyers, cards, anything like that, you want to make sure you're using the same color. Like for instance, our colors are purple, silver, and black, basically, and white. And so the purple, just because it looks like it's a purple and it's like a purple similar to your color, does not mean that's the one that's actually going to work for you. So you make sure you get that exact color. Whenever I like send anything in for my logo or like flyers, I just make sure that I give them the codes. Like, these are the colors. When they ask, normally most people that you get work from, they'll give you like a little form or a little file, and you just fill out, you enter your color codes. It's like spaces for it, and that lets them know what colors to use, so that way you have a consistent color with your brand. You don't want to have multiple colors with your brand. You don't want to have multiple blues, multiple pinks, or rose gold, whatever. You want to make sure you have the exact same color every time that you actually get any work done. Okay, so another thing that I find is very stressful when starting is making sure that with your name, it's available on all platforms. What I mean by all platforms is that you want to make sure you have your your Twitter, your Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I for sure do not use Twitter. Like, I really need to get into it, but I don't tweet. Okay, I don't tweet. I don't snap. I'm just really getting the hang of Snapchat. So it's like, you have to make sure that, I would say that even though you're not active in those platforms, like I'm saying, like I'm not active in it, and you might not be either, but if you're not active in those platforms, you want to definitely make sure that you still use your name, and make sure you go ahead and basically put your name on all platforms. So even though I don't use Twitter, I still have Twitter under Triple Diamond Hair, because you want to make sure that you take all platforms that's available with your name, and you want to make sure your name is available with your platform. So you might find a name that you really like, but it's all, on other platforms it's not available, and you want to make sure that your name is available on all platforms. So you kind of want to make sure, before you like fall in love with a name and decide to make plans with it, that you check and make sure it's available everywhere, because you want people to be able to find you with the same name. You want your brand to stay consistent, and you want everything to have the same name. So you make sure that anywhere somebody search for you, they can find you on that name. If your name is Triple Diamond Hair, then they can type in Triple Diamond Hair and find you everywhere with just that name in itself. So that's also something to be kind of, to be like conscious of whenever choosing your name, which can make it really hard, because like I said, it's a lot of people selling hair. It's a lot of hair companies out there. So a lot of names that you might come up with might already exist. So just make sure you check for that. Also, next I had the domain, but that kind of ties into it what I said before. When you choose your name, you want to make sure it's not that long, and you don't want an entire domain of initials. Okay, so you just want to make sure your name is kind of short and straight to the point. Somebody can get to it without like misspelling it, and then your website don't come up, because it's not like you're gonna have a lot of traffic to your website and it's just gonna pop up if anybody type in something and like miss a letter, because your ranking is not going to be that high right now as far as your SEO and stuff like that go, and that's a whole other story. Another thing that's going to be kind of a little stressful that you got to think about and take into consideration will be your packaging, as far as like your tags, your wraps, and everything. Of course, everybody starting out, you want to have beautiful packaging. You want to probably do the absolute most and get like the boxes and the cute little wraps and everything. That is not important, you guys. Like, that is not important. That is not really something that you need to get at the beginning. You can get nice, cute, affordable packaging without spending so much money, and there's different things you can do. And I'm probably gonna I'll be listing that in like the ebook that I have that I'll be putting out. But you can there's other options for packaging. You don't have to spend that much money with packaging. You also have to think about, although the boxes, the custom boxes and everything are really cute, you have to take into consideration the shipping. The shipping is going to be more expensive the more the product weighs. So you have to take that into consideration. Nobody wants to spend $29 on shipping. So that's also something to think about. And also, you can make it look cute without it being expensive, because you also have to think about, like, put yourself in a situation like us. I'm going to say we, because we probably all bought hair since we're like in the hair business or starting a hair business. When you got your package, of course we looked at a package and I was like, oh yeah, this is cute. I might have kept like the silk bags and the little sacks or whatever I got the hair in. I might have kept it and said it was cute, and I didn't want to throw it away because it was cute, so I kind of just put it in my drawer and stacked it to the side. But did I ever go back and revisit that packaging? No, because I don't have a reason to use it. But I didn't throw it away because it was cute. So like 9 times out of 10, nobody's really worrying about how it's packaged. Like, we just want our stuff. You know, you want your hair, you take your hair out, those bundle wraps, hand tags are going to go in the trash. I don't keep that. I'm not going to keep that because I don't need it. I just wanted my hair, and that's what that is. I really think that far into it, but you do have to have some type of concept of how you're going to package out your orders, because what you don't want to do is start your hair company and then now you're thinking about, okay, I just received an order, I got $200 from somebody, how am I going to send this stuff to them? So there's something you still have to take into account. You should think about it. Second thing, now I'm going to go jump into a second point that you should know. The reason why for doing things, you need to know what is your reason for doing this. Like, what is your passion? What is your ultimate goal? Your reason why is going to stick with you. This is what you're going to refer to during those stressful times that I just expressed to you. When you're going through those times and you know, it's so stressful to find hair, find vendors, things, you know, how much money you're going through wasting, you know, to test hair, and how much it's going to cost you to start up your hair company. When all that stuff begins to stress you out and you just feel like throwing in a towel because you keep getting negative connotations from other people, your reason why is going to be the thing that's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you going because this is going to be the reason you're starting your hair company. And everybody have different reasons. You know, it could be that you're a single parent. You don't have to be a single parent. You could be married. You just want to do something for yourself. You want to own a business. You're trying to create generational wealth, so you want to start your business so you can have something to pass on to your kids and for generations to come. It could be anything. It could be just your absolute passion, like you want to deal with it. For instance, for me, my reason why is that I'm interested as far as the beauty industry go, but hair is like the closest thing that could get me to what I like to do. For me, I would say, because I also style hair as well, but I am not what you would call a hairdresser at heart. The reason I say that is because I don't want to do hair every day of the week, okay? And hairdresser at heart, somebody whose passion is to do hair, they can get up every day of the week and they can go to their shop and they can do hair. For me, that's not going to work. I am very good at it. I like to do it, but I don't love to do it, okay? I am not in love with doing hair. I do it. It helps with the business as far as me selling hair, since I'm kind of a new company and, you know, I'm still like slowly growing. So that helps me, you know, to do it. But I'm still not stuck with having to do hair, you know, every day of the week. But I kind of do it more than what I care to because of the hair business, but that's just because I'm starting up, you know, I'm just starting up, so I'm not quite where I want to be at yet. But I do love beauty. Like I love the makeup, I love the hair transformations and everything. I just would like to watch it. I don't want to be the one actually doing it, not all the time at least. So for me, probably like if I ever owned a salon or something, it would be like a private salon. Or what helps for me is that I like to teach, so I can probably teach people how to do stuff, and that'll be more satisfying to me than me waking up every day and doing hair myself. So that's, you know, kind of that's kind of my reason for doing what I do. I mean, I love to do it. I love dealing with hair. I like explaining hair to people. I like, you know, to teach stuff about it, but I don't care to be a hairdresser. But whatever your reason is, this is going to be the thing that you're always going to turn to whenever you have something, you know, that's just basically making you feel like this is too much. I no longer want to deal with it. And you have to be passionate about it, because if you're passionate about something, you can do it all the time. You can wake up, you can do it every day. You don't care how much money you're making from it because you love it that damn much. You know what I mean? So the next thing, a third thing that I would say is that you have to find you some inspiration. You have to find inspiration in something, because if you don't have any inspiration to constantly keep you going, you're always going to feel like you're in a slump, because when you're first starting off with a business, you are not going to make any money as soon as you first start. So it's going to be slow. When you start your business, it's going to be slow. So you're gonna feel like, oh my God, this is not gonna work for me. Like, I just can't do it anymore. And that's gonna come hand in hand with your reason why. So you just look at other people's stories. I would say you should always listen to something positive. You should always do that. Like, doing makeup while you're sitting there doing your makeup in the morning or whatever, like you're combing your hair. Generally when I'm sitting right here stitching and making my wigs, or if I'm putting makeup on or whatever, I typically listen to like a podcast, or I listen to other people's stories. I read stories. You can't forget about the little things, because they will help you. You might feel like it's a waste of time, but it actually really helps you to hear other people's stories that are successful within your industry and outside of your industry, because you don't have to just listen to people to find inspiration from that only deal with the hair or beauty business. It is great to have some people that is within your field, so you can have like some insight on that as well, but they don't necessarily have to be a hair company or someone like a beauty mogul or whatever the case may be. It could be anybody. Some people that I've got like some inspiration from has been like Steve Harvey. He has some really good stories. His books are great. I don't really know what the name of the book is that I have, but that's a really great book, a really good inspirational book. I'm probably gonna have to look at the name so I can tell you guys what it is, and I'll link it below. But it's a good inspirational book. It tells you about working, and how sometimes if you have a dream, you just need to go for it. Like, you just need to go for it. At some point in life, you have to just jump. That helped me so much with things that I wanted to do, because I always thought about, well, should I quit my job? Should I not quit my job? Stuff like that, and just focus 100% on the hair business. Mengli, she's good. That's somebody good to look up to. She's actually in the hair industry as well. She has a whole brand. It doesn't just include hair, but she kind of started from the bottom as well and made it to the top. You have April Diva Styles. She's another good one to listen to her story. Her story is really inspiring. You have Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Tony Robbins, Oprah, just Maya Slides, a lot of different people. You just listen to different motivational speeches. Like, you can find them on YouTube. You can also look at podcasts, like on your iPhone. They have like a podcast icon. Podcasts are free. Listen to them. They have some Start a Hair Biz podcasts. They have just regular old motivational podcasts, business podcasts. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad guy, he also has a podcast on there that's really good as well. You can listen to different things. You can listen to things about sales, about marketing. All that stuff will help you in your journey, because it's going to motivate you to know that every successful person that you see have a backstory. Everybody don't start off automatically just making money. Like, you go through a lot of trials, errors, and failures. More importantly, you're gonna fail before you succeed 9 times out of 10, and that's just the path that you have to take. But it's a story that you're writing that you're gonna later on be able to turn back and tell somebody else when you become successful and you get where you're going. So it's always good to listen to those, because when you're feeling really down and you listen to a good motivational speech or whatever, you're like, man, I got so much fire lit under me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get it done. Like, ain't no stopping me. If I gotta work 3 jobs and do it, that's what I'm gonna do.